Alright, here we go. We are on the draw. That's not going to hold us back. And we have a decent hand. Depending on what we're up against, this hand could be great. Also, if we hit our land drops, that's going to be important also. Ooh, Windswept Heath. Like that. So, I think there's basically a 100% chance that... Oh, this is actually really annoying. Guess I play the first. There's a chance that I might just play a Bear of Silence on turn 2. If I play a Warden on turn 2, it's pretty unlikely that it gets anywhere. If I get to go Warden into Anafenza, then it might actually do something. But I think I'm probably going to go... Yeah, I'll just play the Warden. I have a little bit of fear that this Warden just won't actually be able to attack into anything. But I'm starting to think that I'm up against the Mardu green deck, in which case the Bear of Silence would be better. Ooh, I think I'm against Rally. So now I really wish I'd played the Bear of Silence first. Bear of Silence is usually pretty bad in terms of like being a 4-drop in this matchup. And it's kind of a good attacker for just 2 mana. Rally is kind of a bad matchup in my opinion. Not horrible, but kind of bad. But if I go like turn 2 Bear into turn 3 Anafenza, and I get to even attack once with my Anafenza and make that Bear of Silence a 3/2 flyer, that's pretty good. So I talked in the beginning of the match how I was kind of thinking about casting the Bear on turn 2, and I, kind of wish that I did. So I can attack with my Anafenza here. But I can't really attack with my Warden. If I'd hit another land drop, I would, and that would be great. But I didn't. That's a shame. Man, not hitting this land drop's a huge problem. I would have so many options if I had another land here, but I don't. So what I'm thinking about now is... Generally speaking, I like attacking with Anafenza every chance I get, because if I give my opponent time, they're likely going to be able to set up a situation where they just bounce it. If I attack with the Anafenza and he just blocks with everything, I'd basically be trading my Anafenza for his Nantuko Husk and the Eldrazi Scion. I couldn't preemptively use the Dromoka's command. If I attack with both, he can just block the... Well, I guess I can actually just attack with both. Yeah, let's do that. My opponent has Murderous Cut. That's going to be a blowout. He could have that. So that would make it a 4/4. So I can just do this now. Even if if he has the Murderous Cut, it's going to be good. Murderous Cut's going to be good no matter what he does, though. Also, I feel like if you made the sacrifice there, he just didn't have the Murderous Cut. That's the other part of this whole thing. So that was really good for me. I got to clean up some of his board. I got to, you know, get some value out of Anafenza. Sometimes you go through a game where you have Anafenza on the board for a while, but like you're in a board stall and nothing actually gets exiled. So it's pretty important that I actively exile things with Anafenza. I mean, Ayli's pretty annoying, actually. And I cannot exile Ayli with Abzan Charm, unfortunately. I do get to attack with both, though. My opponent only has one card in his hand. So I think maybe I just don't attack with the Anafenza, and I only attack with a Warden. Might not actually even do that. I think that I will play my Deathmist Raptor. Could also just start playing these Bear of Silences. Considering my opponent has one card in his hand. Well, I think first I just attack with the Warden. If he blocks, I don't mind trading. And I think I'm going to play the Deathmist Raptor, because this is actually shaping up to be a game where maybe these Bearer of Silences as for drops are going to be reasonable. My opponent doesn't have a... I was going to say, if my opponent doesn't have a Collected Company, he's going to have a pretty hard time. This Reflector Mage is great. Fortunately, I still have this Deathmist Raptor on blocking duty. So that's going to be really good. Good old Zulaport Cutthroat. Good card. So now I will basically pump the brakes. And I will cast the only thing that's worth casting here. And next turn, play on Anafenza and resume my assault. If I can draw a fourth land, it's going to be great. What? Okay. Yes, there's a good chance my opponent has Rally the Ancestors, especially if they're making this play. What card did they sacrifice? The Elvish Visionary? Yeah. Gain 2 life, drain me for 1, scry. Actually, I should check if you scry to the top or not. Wow, and he topped it. Don't like that. Oh, the Husk, that's why. Well, we got 2 Death Touch creatures, so... I can still have one on offense and one on defense. If he just sacks everything, then I can't do any attacking. Because if he sacks everything... Alright, so... It's pretty clear my opponent has a rally in hand. So I need to keep both my Death Touch creatures blocking duty. Otherwise I'll just be dead. Have to imagine that my opponent's going to be scrying to either like some sort of answer or potential answer to my Anafenza. Wow, and he's scrying to the top. Don't like that. If I'd hit my 4th land on time, I do think I could have put my opponent in a pretty tight spot. But it looks like he's kind of has enough going on to wiggle out of it. Just sad times for me. You can definitely see how there's a chance for me to run away with this game. Ooh. Still on the ground? So, I thought for sure... My opponent rallies. It's not even like... If my opponent had rally, or had rally on top, I feel like he would have sacrificed more. So he may just have another Reflector Mage or Collected Company. Wow. I don't know why he's not sacrificing this Ayli. Like before the Anafenza hit the board. Would have just been an extra trigger. Well. This game is pretty bad though. It's going to be pretty hard for me to win from here. There's just so much to slog through. I can build up an Air Force with Bearer of Silences, but it's going to take a long time. This is basically the one matchup where I really want Wingmate Roc. Which I don't have in my main deck, but I'll certainly be boarding in. The good news is my opponent is basically out of gas. Bad news is he's just got a ton of stuff on the board. Well, I'm happy that I've got a land, but it's not really the right one. So there is consideration to playing Bearer of Silence or just holding up Abzan Charm. But I think I'll probably just play the Deathmist Raptor. I only have like 2 good blockers if I play the Bearer of Silence. I don't really want to put the shields down. It is a pretty big problem that my opponent can just kind of scry and gain life his way to the next draw step. Next card that he wants. There's not really anything I can do about it. A Dromoka's command would actually be a very fine draw. Let's see, what's the best thing that I can do? I think I am gonna potentially level my Warden. If I play the Deathmist Raptor, it's essentially the same number of like good blockers, and leveling my Warden may actually be something important. If he just scries his way to another rally, though, I'm just dead. So I have Abzan Charm here. I have one Abzan Charm, one Ultimate Price, and one Valorous Stance. And the reason for that is after Dromoka's command, it's so likely that you have the potential for drawing the wrong removal spell in the wrong matchup. And so that's why I've like split 1, 1, and 1. Post board, I'll just have 3 Ultimate Prices, and I'll be able to pick off the like Zulaport Cutthroat, Nantuko Husks, Jaces, the things that end up being a big problem. My opponent's still thinking about the Scry. I feel like this game is a little on the hopeless side, but you gotta like push through stuff like this. Every once in a while, things just sort of work out. Wait, the stack. Did he cast it again? Oh, okay, yeah, of course. Sorry. It's been a long night. I got really confused for a second. So, and this isn't a crazy place to try to exile the Nantuko Husk, but I'll just like sack it for 6 life, which I'm not particularly crazy about. I certainly need to decide what I want to do here. I almost want to draw 2 cards, but it puts my life total so low, my opponent just kill me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he could just shoot me for 6. Fortunately, it doesn't have that many attackers, but if I tap out, I'm dead. So the most likely thing I'll be doing is just leveling up my Warden and holding up mana for Ayli. So now you can shoot me for 6 still and knock me to 1. It's pretty bad for me. This Jace is a huge problem. Need Dromoka's command or Ultimate Price off the top. My opponent probably thinks he's the only one that can gain life off Ayli, but I've got it too. This gives me a little bit more to work with. So, can I rumble in the jungle? 4, 2. feel like I can do a little bit of rumbling. Opponent can get back his collected company, which will be pretty bad. I wonder if he scryed to the top at his last opportunity. So my opponent's drawing something good on his turn. I'm just going to play this and hope it works. Kind of surprised my opponent sacrifices Zulaport Cutthroat. I have to imagine it means he's got another rally. Rally on top would make sense in terms of scrying, as well as making that attack with an N-Tuco Husk. There's certainly a solid argument for me trading, but in a lot of ways it doesn't even matter if his cards are in the graveyard or in play. But the life total for me did matter. I feel like this is a clear sign that my opponent has a rally on top of his library. Take this one meager pot shot, which basically means nothing. Alright, we're done here. I'll save you guys the trouble. Alright, so Wingmate Roc comes in, Kalitas comes in, the Surrak comes out, Valorous Stance comes out, Abzan Charm comes out, Ultimate Prices come in, that extra removal. And I also like bringing in 2 Duress. And the card that I actually like to take out are the Sylvan Advocates. My opponent just has so many 2/3s, and at the point in the game where these are 4/5s, it's like usually too late. So it's been a few times where I've tried bringing in Flaying Tendrils, but it really didn't work out so well. But there's certainly some game states where it looks like it would be good. So what's nice about this setup is, normally when I sketch the deck out, I have the Bear of Silences slotted in as a 4-drop. But after having taken out the Sylvan Advocates, I basically just move the Bear of Silences back down to the 2-drop slot. And I've got 11 2-drops, which is a pretty nice number. Rounded out with a few Duresses to kick the ball off, and Kalitas and Wingmate Roc as top end. Puts me in much better situation. So it's because all of these creatures are just better at fighting on the ground. 10 Protectors, Evasion comes up a lot in this matchup. Warden can go fairly big. And, Ayli and Deathmist Raptor having Death Touch is always something that's pretty valuable. And Bear can fly, obviously. So, let's do it. Not gonna win with this hand. This is looking pretty bad too. This isn't really a matchup where I can get away with having a slow draw. So, gonna have to mulligan this one also. A little unfortunate, kind of had bad draws both games. Now we will keep. This hand is awful. But, it's better than the alternative. We can draw like a good creature. That'd be great. Not the best creature, but certainly happy we have a creature. So Jace is a huge problem. I think it's more important that I get some piece of pressure out. So I can kill Jace next turn. Maybe even play Ayli and the ultimate price if I hit a land. But it is kind of a race, and against a lot of control decks, I'll just take a moment to kill the Jace because I know that the game's not going to completely run away. But if I don't have some pressure, this game can very quickly run away from me. Ugh. Now that's something that I'll actually probably kill first. Yeah, I'm just going to kill that thing now. I don't even want to trade with it. Now a land would be really great. Having the option to cast Ayli and Ultimate Price next turn is exactly what I want to do. And Siege Rhino would be nice also. I would really like if this was an Anafenza, this would be so much better. I'd be hitting harder, and I would just be causing a lot more disruption. Ugh, don't like that. I'm super happy we have that. So I need to get a plains. Yeah. Now I am praying my opponent just doesn't get all of this stuff back. But that is certainly a fear. My opponent just goes land rally. Oh, that's pretty bad. And with the way that he was discarding, it's certainly a reasonable assumption. I mean, he's got Zulport, Cutthroat, and Liliana in there that he just discarded. So he's got the lands to do so. That makes me pretty happy. So if he wants to double block, so be it. So I have to imagine that if he had Rally, he seems like he's got enough where it would have been worth it to cast. Maybe he just wanted to get this Nantuko Husk out first. But either way, because I have the Deathmist Raptor that I can play on this turn also, I think it's worth it for me to just fire off this Duress. He may have a Ultimate Price or Collected Company. That would also be nice to snipe. So. Also, I'd just like to know what's up. Alright, well, there's a Murderous Cut. So I have to imagine this means my Duress is not going to hit anything. Yeah, Canopy Vista and Reflector Mage. Wonder... No. So the good news is my opponent's hand kind of sucks. And, I don't know, if I just draw running Siege Rhinos, I'll probably win. But as soon as he draws a rally, I'm basically dead. The good news is, if I draw an Anafenza, that's going to be pretty helpful. Not by that much, though. Just rally? Am I dead here? Dude, am I dead? He's going to be able to hit me for a ton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wow. Well, this game's over. Wow, this is actually 18 damage. It's 14 just from sacking stuff to make the husk bigger. And then the Zooroport Cutthroat triggers for another 4. So that was brutal. That was pretty bad. Alright, well I'm just gonna save the trouble. Anyway, yeah, that's it folks.